Hello, welcome to my video. I am going to show you how to measure and mark where these dados are going to go on our angled shelf. And you can see I have this on my plan already where our leg and our upright are going to slot in there. So I've already cut this one so you can see what the end product is. But I'm going to do this board for this video. The board should be cut to the total length of your shelf, which is this distance to this distance. Mine's 12 inches. You should already cut it at this point. We're going to make some decisions about where we want our leg and upright to go. In my case, I have a knot on mine that I don't really want to cut into because it's more difficult to cut from a woodworking standpoint. So I could put this down, but I kind of like the way that looks. So I'm going to orient my shelf like this. So I'm going to mark where the leg goes on this side and where the upright goes on this side. So you want to make some decisions about that. All right, let's start by marking the location of this leg. Mine's 2 inches. It's going to go on this side, and I'm going to start by marking that distance there. I'm going to use this square to do that. I know from this edge I need to go over 2 inches, so I'm going to put a mark at 2 inches, and I know the thickness of my wood is 3/4 of an inch, which is right there, so I'm also going to mark at 2 3/4. Yours of course is different. I'm going to take the square, I'm going to hold it along the edge here on the bottom so I can make a nice 90-degree angle. I'm going to draw that first line, do the same for my second line. Then I'm going to shade all of that out because all of that material is going to get cut away, and that's how I'm going to keep track of that. I want to mark on the side as well where that material is going to get cut away. So I'm going to use my square again and line it up with the line on the top, and then I'm going to draw halfway down. It's 3/8 of an inch. I'm going to do the same with this other one. Halfway through the material is 3/8 of an inch, and then I can connect those two there. And I'm going to put a little X there to show that that's the side I'm going to cut out. I'm going to do the other side as well. Same thing. Use my square to connect that line. Draw it halfway. Same with the next one. Halfway. Connect those two lines. And put a little X on there to show that's all going to get cut away. All right, I'm going to do that with the other side. So just looking at my plan here, that's going to go there. Now I need to mark one on this side. Mine, although I didn't mark it here, and if I'm not sure, you can always remeasure some of these. It's 1 inch from the edge. So making sure it's on the opposite face, we are going to measure over 1 inch. Yours is probably different than that. And then our thickness is another 3/4. And then I'm going to turn my square and draw those perpendicular lines. Scribble that so I know that's the material that's going to get removed. Halfway, which is 3/8 of an inch in this case. Connect those. Put an X where the material is getting removed. Do the same thing on the other side. Little X. No, that's going to get removed. All right, now that I have those measured and marked, I'm ready to head over to the table saw. Here I am at the table saw. Take a look at our setup here. We have a dado stack. It is 3/4 of an inch thick, which is the thickness of the wood that we're going to slot in here. I have this marked. This is set to be exactly half the thickness of the wood Already have that dialed in. So we don't need to adjust that at all. But we do need to have this marked. You should have done up to this point. The saw is going to cut whatever is facing down. So we're going to use our mark here. And I moved the guard out of the way so we could see this more clearly. But we know the blade is going to come through along this groove. So we're going to line up as carefully as we can that mark with the opening, knowing that the blade is going to pass through that part of the board. Now that I have the board in the correct position, I'm ready to make my cut. What I do with my hands is very important. My thumbs must be behind this fence. My left hand is going to hold on, and that's what's going to help move the sled forwards and backwards. And my fingers on my right hand are going to hold very tightly to make sure that the board is staying down against the fence and it doesn't move to the right or left. So now I'm ready to get that lined up again. I'm going to turn the saw on. I'm going to hold this down really tight and I'm going to move through the cut very slowly, keeping a lot of pressure going down on the board. I'm going to go all the way until I hit the stop, and then I'm going to keep it in the same space, not to move left or right, and I'm going to go back. Let's take a look. All right. Now if we didn't get deep enough, we could do that again, but we really want to do this correctly the first time, because if we do it again, we're probably going to widen this out. This cut looks pretty good. I'm a little off from my line, but only by maybe a 1/16 of an inch. All right, ready to do the other side. All right, I'm going to line up that marking with the opening. My right hand, my thumb's behind, my fingers are going on top and they're pushing down. You can see that I'm pushing the blood out of my fingertips, they're changing color. And then my left hand is going to guide that through, and I'm going to go through slowly. The reason I'm going slowly is because the blade is pushing up on the material, and I don't want to add to any of that force. All right, let's take a look. Looks pretty good. One way you can check it, I have this square set to 3/8 of an inch, and if I put it flat like that and I move it back and forth through that groove, if it pushes up at all and you can see a gap there, that means that in one of the space here it didn't get cut all the way through. So I can check it with my other groove too. It's flat all the way through. So these Dados are going to work.